Time for another Race to a Million participant spotlight. Look who's here. It's Mike Harrison from Team Alpha. How are you, pal?
Very well, Dean. Thank you.
Good. Nice to have you here. Now, we've got a couple of things we want to talk about. As you know, with our participant spotlights, we want to give the audience an opportunity to kind of find out a little bit more about what makes you tick. So, since we have a real estate professional with us, we want to talk a little bit about some buyer and seller things to remember in the world of real estate. But first, let's find out about you. Married, kids, what's the dealio in the Harrison household?
Married, happily married, 3 kids, 14, 12-year-old boys, 5-year-old daughter. Everybody's happy they're in Kamloops, our tournament capital, and everybody's busy playing sports and exercising as much as they can.
Do your wife and children have names?
My wife's name is Barb.
Okay.
My oldest son's name is Tristan. My youngest son's name is Tyson, and my 5-year-old daughter's name is Marissa.
There, see, we're getting closer to them already. You've been a Kamloops boy long time?
22 years.
Really? Where were you before that?
I spent 10 years in Williams Lake before I moved here.
Really? Billy's Puddle. Anybody that's never been to Williams Lake, beautiful part of the world. It's a little bit of a smaller community, but it must have been a good place to grow up.
Very lumber dependent. A lot of outdoor activities. Great fishing, great hunting, great everything, great winter sports. A very big hockey town. I was really happy when I moved here, though.
When I first moved to Kamloops in 1993, I met you and your best buddy, Sean Hopkins, at Pickup Shinny Hockey, and that's where our friendship started, was back in the early part of the 90s. So
it was a long time ago.
Question is, how come you look so good now and I'm aging so rapidly? What's going on there?
I traded the hairline.
Oh, okay. All right. You still playing hockey, though? Me and you, both out there, still trying to live the dream?
Playing hockey, you and I, and proud supporters of TRU Wolfpack.
Thompson Rivers University Wolfpack hockey, and the sad reality of it is no scouts watching us when we go out there and play. What else do you like to do in the Kamloops region, you know, when you're not busy at work?
Between real estate and Race to a Million, that's most of my time. The leftover time and the time that I intentionally block out for my family, and that's pretty much it for time. Hockey Friday nights when everybody's gone to bed,
right?
And that's about it.
Only so many hours in the day, isn't there?
There's the invention of the lifetime.
Yeah.
Need more time.
Come up with a 36-hour day, and we'll make sure you get really rich, really fast. So we want to talk about some of the exciting Team Alpha initiatives that are coming up, but as I said off the top, we got a real estate expert here with us, so let's talk a little bit of real estate. Before we get into some helpful tips for buyers and sellers, you're at a new office now, aren't you?
You betcha. Platinum Realty. Located about a block from my old office, so really easy to find.
So you could just throw your stuff down the street to the new office,
Didn't need a moving van for that one.
Why Platinum Realty?
Several reasons. First of all, I want to say Royal LePage Council is a great office, and I enjoyed my 5 years there. It was fantastic. The atmosphere at Platinum, we have a smaller office, so it's a bit more personalized. The team atmosphere is very prevalent there. Had a look at things like the mission statement for the office, and was very surprised to find that the mission statement for my new office is very similar to the mission statement that we have with CMDC and Race to a Million.
Right.
Openness, honesty, transparency, support of your fellow man, etc., etc.
Right. So yeah, and what's the old saying? Sometimes a change is as good as a rest. So moving a new office, new location, new scenery, all that kind of stuff, and kind of reinvigorate you heading into 2011.
Breath of fresh air, for sure.
Well, good luck at Platinum Realty.
Thank you.
We'll talk about the possible charitable contributions that will bridge from Royal LePage to Platinum, but we'll get to that in a minute. All right, I am Mr. Home Buyer. I'm looking to purchase a new home for my family. I'm looking at the real estate landscape in the city of Kamloops. You're my realtor of choice. What would some tips to the wise be for a buyer? What are some things that we should take into consideration when purchasing real estate?
Well, first of all, thank you for your confidence. I kind of have 3 things that I think about generally and try and pass on to my clients all the time. The first one goes simply as this. A mortgage pre-approval is not the same as a mortgage approval.
Okay.
There seems to be a lot of confusion on that. your lender will not be able to approve your actual mortgage until you show up with a written accepted contract, an offer, purchase, and sale.
Spoken like a guy who may have been bit a couple of times by deals falling through as a result of bad financing.
It happens. Sometimes even under the best circumstances it happens. People just aren't aware of what's going on. But there is a large misconception that once you've been to your lender and they've given you a pre-approval and said go ahead and go shopping, that you've been approved for your mortgage.
Right.
And you are not.
All right, so number one, make sure that your financial house is in order and that your lender, regardless of whether it's a traditional bank or mortgage broker, they say, we will give you this money, not will consider giving you this money.
You need to know for sure.
Yeah.
And that won't happen until you have an offer.
Okay, and so there's one good point. Number two?
A house inspection is not a pass or a fail. A house inspection is a snapshot at that time of the condition of your home. There are many comments that are made regarding a house inspection, like my house failed a house inspection. There is no failure.
Right.
There is an honest idea of what's going on inside of your house.
It's an evaluation, a report card.
You betcha.
Right, so you can go into the transaction eyes wide open. Well, it looks like we might have to replace the water heater. We might need to replace the roof in a couple of years. Better to go in knowing what to expect as you write that offer, right?
Exactly, exactly. And it's very pertinent because there are a lot of times that people will come out of a house inspection and see the things that are wrong with the house and feel that their house isn't perfect. So that's it for them.
Okay.
It's very important to understand that even when you buy a new home, there are things that need to be taken care of.
Right. So, yeah, it's not a pass or a fail. Just take it as a current reality check of the state of the house. I like that. What's number three?
Number three would be that no deal, no real estate transaction is firm until all the conditions are removed.
Right.
Your deal is not firm at the offer process. Your deal is not firm during the negotiation process. Your deal is not firm as you're removing conditions. Your deal is firm once all the conditions are removed.
You know, we have a large audience of young entrepreneurs and young business people, perhaps some in the position of buying their first home. So maybe you could explain what's a condition?
Oh, good call. A condition, when you purchase a home, when you put an offer in to purchase a home, a home, your offer will be conditional to several things like getting your mortgage approved, getting your house inspection, seeing a property disclosure statement and approving of it. If it's a strata, it's getting all the documents and regulations for strata. Those things they come to you and you approve them, and then you'll remove your condition from the offer.
Okay.
So once all those conditions are taken off, then your deal is firm, moving towards completion, but not till that point.
So when you're writing an offer, be aware that the vendor might provide conditions, you might provide conditions. Make sure that you have a clear understanding of what they are, because they're part of the legal and binding contract as well. You have to make sure you understand them and understand when they get removed.
You signed it.
Yeah.
You put your name on it, so you should know what's on that piece.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Harrison. I look forward to viewing the homes that you will show me through Platinum Realty. Now, I'm the seller, vendor in real estate parlance. What are some tips to the wise for vendors, folks that are putting their homes on the market?
Capital letters, patience. Patience.
Okay.
In a hot market, only 75% of homes will sell. In a hot market, say 2007.
Okay.
We're not in that hot. We're in a stable market, but we're not in a hot market.
Okay.
So when you consider that in a hot market, 75% of homes sell, what number are we at now? I don't have a stat for it, but it's not 75%.
Less than 75%.
Be patient.
Okay. So what does that mean? Like, be ready to not sell for an extended period of time? Clarify that for me.
Make sure that you're realistic with your expectations.
Okay.
Just because you put your home on the market doesn't mean it's a done deal. Doesn't mean you're moving to wherever you're moving.
Right.
The real estate transaction moves in stages.
Right.
And you need to make sure that you're involved in each one of those stages, but not jumping ahead to the next one.
It's called market value for a reason. Your home is worth what the market will bear for it. You might say, well, my evaluation was X amount of dollars. Let's tack on $100,000 and there's our selling price. Well, you can ask whatever you want, but if it's not a realistic market value of what the market will bear, chances are you're not only going to have to be patient, you're going to have to wake up to the reality that your home may not be worth as much as you would like it to be.
That brings up a great point, Dean. For instance, the example you just gave, you throw another $100,000 on your house. The buyer comes. You go through the offer process. The deal is subject to financing. The bank's going to know what your house is worth.
Yeah.
They're going to send an appraisal company out there. And if your house is valued by the appraisal company at, let's say, $100,000 less than your asking price, the bank, the lender will not fund the mortgage.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if your house is too expensive unless somebody's paying cash.
Yeah.
And is silly enough to see.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you can get one of those guys, you get a live fish on the line that's got nothing but money and an unclear understanding of current market conditions, it might work out for you, but really, ain't gonna happen.
You need to trust somebody who has experience in the market.
Okay.
When it comes to a professional realtor, I can pull everything. I can pull your neighborhood. I can let you know what every house sold for that was on the market, not on a private sale, but everything that was on the market. I can let you know what it went for, at what time, what it started out at, what it went for in the end,
Right.
what was, how many days on the market,
Right.
the reductions that took place to get there. You don't have that on your own.
It's a real scientific process, believe me. Your best bet, get a professional realtor. They know the game inside and out. And they may not always tell you what you want to hear, but they will tell you what you need to know in order to progress either in the purchase or selling phase. Okay, so patience, number one. Number two, for the vendor.
For the vendor. It's all about patience
Oh,
with me
okay.
and the vendor.
So patience is number 1, 2, and 3, and realistic expectations.
Realistic expectations are key because you will put yourself in a frame of mind where you're expecting things that aren't going to happen. And that will affect your attitude within your family. That will affect your attitude on how you carry about your normal everyday work day.
Right.
You're expecting something that's just not simply going to happen.
Right.
There are situations where it may happen where you would put your house on the market just to see if that will happen.
Sure.
But when it doesn't happen, that's probably not your realtor's fault.
Yeah.
If your realtor gave you a correct figure on what to expect from your home, and you insisted on putting it on the market for $40,000 or $50,000
The
more,
realtor will do it, but probably guide you and counsel you not to do it.
some will, some won't. It
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah.
300 individual businesses inside of our own board. Everybody is free to run it, in their own fashion. I, for one, would encourage not to put a home on the market that's been inflated for value.
Man, we could talk all day long about things like increasing your home's curb appeal. How does it look from the street? What kind of smells do you want your home on showing days and open houses and all those other types of things? I guess our best piece of advice would be to find Mike online at Platinum Realty. What's the website URL for Platinum?
Let's go to mine.
Okay.
MikeHarrisonRealestate.com.
MikeHarrisonRealestate.com. Just get in touch with him, and he'll spend time and go into the depth that we can't here because we have other things to talk about, like Team Alpha. You're one of the newer members on Team Alpha. How's the whole mastermind process been for you?
Where was this 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Excellent. The Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich, lays out the masterminding idea and how it works. I've talked to several people in the city who have a grasp of the concept, but have never had a chance to put it into actual use.
Right.
We have 5 teams doing this here. The team I'm on, the best team, Team Alpha, the team that we're all part of.
He's
here.
not biased or anything.
The members of our group are phenomenal. The concept of everybody being accountable to everybody else, and most importantly to me, the concept of everyone helping everybody else. The book is open. You have a bad idea, you have a good idea. You have this idea, I can help you with this.
Right.
I have this idea, what can I help you with?
Right.
I've never heard of that before. I don't feel that it's part of the traditional business world.
It's very exciting. It's, and you've been able to sit around firsthand and watch how ideas develop. And one of the things that really fascinates me about the whole masterminding concept, and it's become abundantly clear throughout the Race to a Million, is that sometimes the direction you head off in isn't always the direction you end up going at the end of the day, right?
Very rarely, it seems.
Yeah.
Be ready for change.
Yeah.
Be ready for, and that's the evolutionary process.
Right.
You and I had talked earlier. One of the things that I really noticed is that you can be in the middle of a good idea and you could think it's the